Okay, well, welcome to NN.
Hey!
Hey! And the NN Cafe. On this sort of cold winter Friday night. And I'm Mel Jordan, I'm one of the artists in the Free Art Collective. And the project we've been doing here is called the Freee-Carraci-Institute, where we've made some, we put our work in the gallery and we've sort of invited lots of different people to respond to it in certain different ways. And so I'm delighted to say that today, this evening, we've got comedian Dave Green, who's been bombarded with our stuff over the last week or so, and he's been working on a response to it in whatever way he wanted to in relation to the content, but the output here is a comedy set. So thanks for coming, and I know we're only a small crowd, but I'm very excited, and it's been great for me and Andy and Dave to have Dave Beach, who's part of the Free Art Collective as well, to have the opportunity to have people to talk to us and work with some of the key things we're interested in and respond to them. So just a bit of an introduction on Dave Green. He's been doing stand-up comedy since 2011, and since then his surreal one-liners and deadpan delivery have fast proved popular with audiences and promoters alike. In 2013, he won the wildcard vote in the BBC New Comedy Awards, securing him a place in the semi-final, which was broadcast on BBC Radio 2. That's good. In 2014, he was nominated by a panel of industry professionals to take part in the Leicester Mercury Comedian of the Year. He's also finalist in the Leicester Square New Comedian 2012 and is the winner of the Comedy Nights Fresh Comedian again in 2014. So if you can give us a large round of applause for Dave and welcome him, and we're really excited to hear what he's got to say. I'm sure we'll be laughing all the way. So thanks, Dave.
That was like the most formal introduction I've ever had. I like the way you kept saying comedian as well. It's like, you know you're doing bad when they need to like remind you. The next guy is a comedian. He's going to be doing some comedy. Just in case you were wondering. I always find that weird in rap music because they always tell you like they're going to do rap, don't they? That's like that. Do you know what I mean? In like they always stop and go like, yeah, just Notorious B.I.G. just rapping. Do you know what I mean? They like tell you their name and like you can't do that in comedy. I can't stop and say, I'm Dave Green. Just doing some comedy. Yeah, I hope people like figure it out. Or maybe you won't, I don't know. It's this is quite different, as you can probably tell, like, to what like a normal gig. I studied art actually with Dave Beach, the other part of the Free Collective originally, alright? And just hang natural, Dave. Yeah, years ago, but this is like the first art-related thing I've done in like 10 years. So it's very, quite strange for me. Although my girlfriend is actually getting into life drawing. So I did do that actually. But it was weird, I found that embarrassing because yeah, do turn off your phones please. This is professional here. And yeah, that was quite weird actually because we went to this life drawing class and I'm still quite weird about that, like drawing like a naked man. And I made the mistake of I was quite nervous about drawing his penis basically. This is very vulgar, isn't it? But it's an embarrassing thing that happened because I basically was embarrassed about drawing it, so I drew it like first to like get it out of the way. So I wouldn't have to think about it, do you know what I mean? But then I didn't realise we were doing, it was like quick, I thought that was like a logical thing to do. But it's quick like 5-minute poses, you had to change the pose every 5 minutes. Which no one told me, and I basically ran out of time, and I'd only drawn his dick. And then we had to hold up our drawings, and I looked like some weird guy that had just gone there just to learn to draw penises. It was really embarrassing. The guy even said like, you can draw the whole thing. I was like, oh no. It's the bit I was most interested in. So that's the only art related thing I've done in like the last 10 years. But anyway, I was going to read actually Dave's message that he sent me. Because as I say, it's just quite like an unusual sort of proposition. And he even says actually, like, So when Dave Beach got in touch asking me to do this, this is what he said. Hi Dave, Freeze, spelled that wrong. Have a proposal for you. It's unusual. We'd like you to come to our exhibition in Northampton in November to do stand-up. Blah, 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 blah. Lays it all out. I said, yeah, that'll definitely be, this is me replying, that'll definitely be one of the more unusual gigs I've done. To be honest, it sounds like it might be a tough environment to perform in, but it depends what you want out of it. Big lols or an experiment in the name of art. I'm guessing it's more the latter. I was hoping it was more the latter. I'm definitely interested though. And he said, we're looking for genuine comedy. I'm not sure if that's what's happening now, but not an experiment. I was hoping it was an experiment, but... Any questions? Good, all right. So what I was going to do... So yeah, I was kind of going to read this. And this is like a manifesto that you guys have made. Or actually, no, isn't it? Slogans. Slogans. I have practiced this, by the way. Okay. Any questions? Oh, no, I've done that. So, this is just a list of slogans and I've kind of made notes on it, basically. So, the economic function of public art is to increase the value of private property. Fair enough. The social function of public art is to subject us to civic behaviour. And I'm trying to, I don't know, I haven't read any stuff like this for a long time, so it all seems like quite dense and hard to understand. So I'm going to try and sort of understand it with you, if that's okay. So the social function of public art is to subject us to civic behaviour. So what does that mean? That means like public art is trying to control us. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, like through the idea of the monument, I suppose, conventionally, traditionally, some generally white man stood on a plinth, giving you the idea of power and hierarchy, and that's what you look up to. And certainly within the monument, and then when you get into sort of modern art where there's lobby things in the town square, then this idea that maybe as a uncivilized passerby or walk by and somehow some of this formal aesthetic understanding will rub off on you and you will be suddenly transformed into a better, more civilized person.
And you guys disagree with that?
No, I think what we were trying to say was that's what it does. You know, like...
Yeah.
It's not
Like would like a war memorial count? Is that public art? I guess that's kind of, it's kind of art.
Yeah, I suppose it's like...
Because people there don't look very civic. There's always like... The one near me is like always covered in rubbish and stuff. So I don't know if that counts. That's just number 2. There's like 56 of these. So strap in, guys. The note on the next one just said brain mush. So I don't know. The aesthetic function of public art is to codify social distinctions as natural ones. The aesthetic function of public art is to codify social distinctions. I didn't get that one at all, so we'll just move on. The function of public art for regeneration is to sex up the control of the underclass. Sex up, interesting choice of words. I don't really talk about sex at all when I'm on stage. So even just, well, I do, but in like a really weird sort of repressed way. I've got a bit about a sandwich where I say like when you eat, you know when you're at school and you like swap sandwiches with other kids? Do you know what I'm talking about? When you eat a sandwich, I've got this bit where I say that when you eat a sandwich made by somebody else's mum, there's something kind of vaguely erotic about it. Because it feels like you're cheating on your mum but with a sandwich. Very intimate thing. Anyway, I'm cheating now because I'm just doing my material based on different random words. So the next one, the neo-imperialist function of public art is to clear a path for economic expansion. There's a little note there saying, paint this. I was thinking maybe you could just, because there's lots of words, maybe easier to understand if you just did like a nice painting or something. Just make it easier for people to digest. But some of them are quite good, like, well, I was thinking about putting on a t-shirt, but you've already done that. I mean, do you sell those t-shirts? Or? You should sell them, make a bit of money. You're missing out there. Or like fridge magnets. Have you done that? I thought I came up with that. And I've written here, okay, so the next one. The function of public art for the gallery is to preserve the distinction between art and the rest of culture by establishing a legitimate form of exception on art's own terms. And see, they're cracking up at their own stuff now. Shall I deliver them like jokes? Like, hey, whoa! The function of public art for the gallery is to preserve whatever. I don't know what comedians do that. Hey, whoa! That was. I'm trying to deliver them in the style of comedy. Somehow I've forgotten what that sounds like. The function of public art for the gallery is to preserve this distinction between art. Well, lots of comedians these days kind of lunge. Maybe I can do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, right. The function of public art for the gallery is to preserve the distinction between art, like a Russell Brand thing going on, and the rest of culture by establishing a legitimate form of exception on art's own terms. The crowd goes wild. Kick a balloon, right. Artist, and I've written on that one, I've written internal monologue. Because I find this stuff quite dense, and I'm not a big reader, really, and I find sometimes, when I'm reading especially dense stuff like this, my mind starts wandering, and then my internal monologue, I can't concentrate on what it's saying, because my internal monologue sort of going like, Dave, you're reading now. You're really smart. And do you know what I mean? I get so excited about the fact that I'm reading something that I can't actually take it in. I found out I was dyslexic in the final year of university, actually, in the last term. I was like, did you as well?
Yeah.
It's so destroying, isn't it? I was like, where's my computer? And they were like, by the time we process it, it'll be too late. It's like the word, I just found out I was dyslexic and I didn't get anything out of it. Anyway, I digress. Right. Artists cannot bring integrity to your project unless they provide a full and candid critique of everything you do. I think that's what's happening now. I'm totally laying into you guys. I'm not at all, actually. I've been very, very nice so far. Right, the next one. I'm a local outsider. I'm a migrant worker. I'm a foreign citizen. Now, I don't get why... Who's this guy that's jumped in? Because it was like... I thought it was like you were talking, and then suddenly there's like 3 different people, all in this. Do you know what I mean? You just try and pick. Might be more easy if you pick sort of a voice and stick with it. You know? But it's easier to digest. Here we go. Oh, the institutions and spaces of liberal democracy were built for us all in the image of wealthy heterosexual white men. And I drew a picture of what that might look like, actually. Where is it? Oh, there. So that's like a building in the shape of like a guy, a white guy. It's holding money. So, see, I did do an article. Yeah. Who's this guy? No heckling the axe, please. Okay. Right. Right. Well, so I think some of this looks. You know, when you are doing like predicted text and you just press like a random word. You know, it spells something weird. Some of this looks like that to me. I find it really hard to understand. In fact, let's try that actually. Let's. I'm just going to do predicted text now. Just bear with me, just checking the emails. I'm not. Let's do, right, so if I type in, who shall I text? I'll text Dave Beach. He's down in Devon, isn't he? Yeah. All right, yeah, let's get him involved. Here, why do you guys have to do all the work? Come on. Right, so if I start with a random word, I'll just type art. I'll see if I can recreate what this looks like to me. So I've written, you all know what I'm talking about, right? When you do like, it's predicted text but with whole words. So right, art, that would be the start word, art. Art and antiques is the queen. Queen? Again, what? They gave me 2 queens. Of queen, and again, art, it's giving me art and antiques is the queen of queen. And the world is a great idea. See, look, what did I say? That's like something you were right. The world is a great idea. Whack that on a t-shirt, put it in a gallery. This is so easy. The world is a great idea and a good time for a great game. Sounds sinister now. Who's right? Is this Steve Jobs from the grave or something? And a good time for a great game with the great art. There we go. Now I'm going to text that to Dave, yeah? There we go. Text that to Dave Beach. Teach him for being lazy. Right. So, what else can we do? Right. Get back on it. Oh, number 19. Fuck globalization. You've sworn there. You brought the tone down. Who do you write this like all together? You do, yeah, it does look like that because it's all kind of, it's kind of mashed together. Whose idea was that? The fuck globalization. It was Dave, wasn't it? It was Dave. Dave was like, "Fuck globalization." What do we have to say? And he said, "Yeah, we're saying it." He's a bully. He's a bully, Dave Beach. I remember from school. Fuck this. Fuck that. Just terrible person. It's not at all. Right. Revolution is, this is number 20. Revolution is sublime, or what are we going to do with the rich? You've made 2 points there. I think you should just pick one, because the numbering system's kind of going. The next one I just said it's too long, it goes on forever. The detergent this, revolution that. Advertising wants you to think that detergent is revolutionary. Well, depends how dirty your stuff is, I guess. But the public. This is my favourite one actually. 27. You can't buy a new world. I think that's genuinely really good. There's nothing funny about praise, is there? Keep up the good work. And it just goes on from there, really. It's just the same. Imagine what I've said so far, and then just more. And there's another one. There are no experts on happiness. And I just made some of these notes today. There are no experts on happiness. I just made a note. Paul McKenna? ? He's got a good book about how to be confident in that. Yeah, that's mainly it. And then I think you lost faith a bit towards the end because there's 53 points, but then if you can see the design, the font gets smaller and that you lose the gaps. So it's like you lost faith and you just cram it in. You guys were like, "Dave, can we go home now? We're tired." He's like, "No, just put a few more points, cram a few more points in there." Good. Any questions? I already said that. I should have saved that till later on. That's good. It's all good. I'm just looking at the notes I've made here. Poem. I was going to do a poem, but it feels weird. Can I do an impression actually? Yeah. This is the only impression I have, and I say this is my impression of it's of a lonely builder. Okay. This guy's waiting with bated breath. Right, here we go. Lonely builder, and it goes like this. I'm glad you enjoyed that because I almost passed out. I'll be honest, this is the only gig that I could do that in. It's arts, and try doing that in Jongleurs on a Friday night, doesn't. So yeah, it's good to be here. All right. I pretty much went for all of that. What about a poem? Do you like poems? Really clutching at straws now. Who's into poems, guys?
Yeah!
Cheers, man. I love you. You come to all my gigs. All right, this poem's called A Girl's Reflection in a Train Window. And it goes like this. Trees, 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 girl's reflection. Trees, 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 girl's reflection. Trees, trees, leafy trees, 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 girl's reflection. Trees, trees, pile on, trees, 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 pile on, trees, 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 girl's reflection. Trees, 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 trees. Oh my God, she's going to say something. Trees, 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 trees. She's going to say something. Trees, 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 trees. Excuse me. Yes. Can you stop saying trees, please? I'm just doing all my weird shit now. The weirdest shit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There was a point in there that made, it was something about, can we all be, like everyone, advertising should be for everyone. What did you mean by that? What was the idea of that?
Well, I was thinking that it's sort of advertising is something you have to sort of buy and you have to be rich enough to pay for, and then we were just sort of thinking that everybody should be able to advertise, everybody should be able to publicise, and yeah.
Is that like social media though? Is kind of that kind of what social media is? I guess it doesn't have the same reach. I mean, it's different. I mean, I don't want social media stresses me out. You can tell that this whole thing was just a segue into a bit of material I've got about social media. Not that that wasn't important. It allowed me to catch my breath as well because I'm really out of breath. But I guess I was thinking, I don't know, I find social media stressful because it's like, I don't know, you know the culture now how you're meant to like reply to everything instantly. Do you know what I mean? If you don't, you're like a bad person. I don't like that because it's like, I think that's one of the reasons I'm really scared of Ouija boards. Because I know it's weird, but it's not a supernatural element. I just really resent the idea of being dead but still having to respond to messages. I really don't want to do admin from beyond the grave. I mean, they don't work. Ouija boards don't work. If they did, they'd probably be owned by Mark Zuckerberg. Look different. They'd be blue with like emoticons on them and clairvoyants there going, I don't get it, the spirit's not replying back until they've seen the message. Little tick engraved in the wood. Active now, who are you speaking to, Grandad? This isn't fair. I feel like I should do more of this stuff. So I do the text, let's see if Dave's replied. He hasn't replied, man. That's going to look really weird, isn't it? Art and antiques is the queen of queen, and the world is a great idea, and a good time for a great game with the great art. Oh, man. He's going to think we're all pissed. But hang on a sec. There we go. I found I scrolled up on the text message, and this is... I haven't even read this whole thing, so I literally don't know what it says. But this is a text from Dave Beach, saying, Dave, I've got a joke for you. So here we go, art and comedy colliding. This is an artist telling a joke. Mr. Dave Beach. I've got a joke for you. It's a bit like something out of a Christmas cracker at the moment, but I thought you might be able to do something with it. Anyway, just thought of it, so why not pass it on? When I told my dad I wanted to be an artist, brackets, or comedian, etc., he got me a job at a company that makes martial arts equipment. If you learn how to make judo mats, he said, you'll always have something to fall back on. So maybe he actually went to the trouble to text me that. I know, at that point I hadn't spoken to him in like 5 years or something. It's bizarre, isn't it? They had just woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, judo mats, yes. Weird, man. Good. think I was contractually obliged to do 20 minutes. I've done 23, so... I guess I should leave you on a joke. When I told my dad I wanted to be a comedian, no. I better leave. Before I leave, I'll just tell you a quick fact about myself, I guess. If I could take just one thing to a desert island, I probably wouldn't go. I've been Dave Green. Thanks for having me. Thank you.